Hey, y'all. You're listening to Spiritual Freedom Podcast, and I'm your host, Susie. I'm glad you made it. So this is a safe space where we get to talk about anything and everything spiritual and metaphysical, but we're going to talk about it without the judgment, without the fear or religious guilt, and without losing any credibility. So let's open our hearts and our minds, and let's talk about the weird without being weird about it. Hey, y'all. So I wanted to do an episode more about energy management and what I've been doing lately. And what's been working for me has been this new connection with the earth. And it's been like, I concentrate on the elements. So earth, air, water, and fire. And I kind of include light within fire, which might be weird, but that's just where I'm at right now. So, you got the four elements, like usually in shamanistic practices, you have the four elements that you kind of practice with. And it might be in other traditions too, but it's just what I'm going to right now. So what I've been doing for energy management, a lot of it has been in the past where I just ground into the earth and I try to see this connection to the earth visually in my mind. Like if it's a red laser beam or if it's a white, big laser beam, or some people shoot anchors down into earth. It's something that's visually in your mind, and almost to help with the energy connection, to visualize something going down into the earth, the middle of the earth, like the center, and like really wrapping around the core of the earth, something visual in your mind to like really be like, okay, I'm there. And sometimes physically I kind of hum, like a low hum, so that I can feel a little vibration pull of it going down. And it does help. I used to try to visualize, and I'm not used to visualizing things, so it would be really hard for me to feel settled. Even when I threw like a line down to the earth, I'd be like, I don't feel it. I'm still feeling fucked up. But once I started humming, and then I take a little moment to like see my little red laser beam going down like multiple miles into the earth, and like what it would look like going through like dark earth, and just that feeling, I would try to imagine. And yeah, imagination is like a doorstep of divinity to me. And you're going to feel like a little kid, like, this is so crazy, and I'm imagining this. And I'll say you're doing the right thing. We got to let go of judgment. And imagination is just such a beautiful thing that we lose. We lose our grip, grip sounds controlly, but we lose our connection with as we get older. And that's always been like a sad thing to me. I remember, I think I was about 13. I was like, I know I haven't been imagining things like I used to. Like I'd see cracks on the wall of, like a building, and then I could see almost like a cartoon coming out from it. Like I could almost like imagine a story. Like I was that full of stories. Like I'd be looking at things and I could come up with a story from the cracks I'd see on a wall. And I know that's cheesy, but it's not like I want that kind of distraction all the time. But I realize as I'm strengthening my spiritual practices, the more I connect to my inner child, the more I am finding peace with other people, the more that I am accepting myself, and I'm reducing the inner critic that can come up pretty strong, otherwise. And I'm just having like a more positive like vibe from my center, my soul. It's just what's happening. And I'm thankful for it, because we're living in a weird eclipse time, and like weird shit's happening. Like rough stuff's happening in people's lives. And we need to have this energy management practice going so that when it happens, you can kind of like stay solid, so you can stay kind of in your energy, know how to release the extra when it hits you, because that's okay. We're supposed to have extra. We're supposed to have moments of flow, dips of energy and too much energy. Like we're supposed to have it. This is part of the challenge of being human, is getting through these lulls and high points so that we know how to come back to center and what center is. So we recognize it, and that we know, okay, when I'm in that spot, I can make decisions. Okay. So it's really important that we do energy management in general, and we practice it. So what I've been doing lately, besides just grounding into the earth though, is I guess part of this roots connection, and I'll just say this really quickly before I go into what I'm doing. On other videos and episodes, I've talked about how I believe the human experience is like at least 5 dimensions, right? To me, you got the physical, you got the mental, you got the emotional, you got the spiritual slash soul. And then you have what I call roots, which is really this divine connection with the earth and all things of nature. You know, our bodies decompose here once we leave the meat suit. You know, there's some, like, we become part of the earth. So there's something special. And not only that, but I've felt it when I hear a babbling brook and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so relaxed. I can just nap here. Or I'm in a forest, and you know those moments when you're walking and you just kind of feel like you're in the forest enough where the sun is like being kind of dappled with the leaves, and the leaves are fluttering, and it's just that kind of like this beautiful mystic light show that you get to see and feel from the trees. I just love it. And then just looking at the trees and being like, you've gone through so many years of like, you don't know when it's going to rain next, and yet here you are chilling and you make it. Like, it just helps us get like perspective on our life. To me, like, nature is just truth. It's truth, and it's close to divine source, God. You know, I think newborns are too. I always feel like, oh, you just left the factory. Tell me about God. Tell me about it. Whisper to me what you saw. Because it was hard for us to remember. We're supposed to forget, you know? And I look at newborns like that. So it's like forest to me is like, they have that connection, like just, off the factory floor, but they're just in the flow. They've been here for a lot longer and they can chill. Or just even rock formations and seeing what happens over time. It's just beautiful, right? It's just this like, oh, this is what happens when you're in the flow of, you know, whatever comes at you. You can just become majestic and beautiful. Now, granted, I'm taking an optimistic look at nature. I know there's other sad and scary stuff that happens, but it's just how I have to decide to live. The other option just is a negative vibe, and I can't do that. So let me stay on the high vibe. So anyway, yeah, so we have this, you know, fifth connection of roots. I feel like it's the fifth element. Is there like a movie like that? Yes, I'm sorry, going off topic. Anyway, so it's the roots. And so when I start doing energy management, instead of shooting my little laser beam, my red laser beam into the middle of the earth and feeling that and humming to try to like visualize this pull down of energy, like instead of just doing that, I started now doing, you know, if I have my hands in water, even if it's like I put some water in a bowl and put my hands in it, and I usually do that depending on the moon that we're in. I know this sounds a little witchy for some of y'all, but if I know we're having a Scorpio full moon, put my hands in that water and I connect to the water and I just see it as the element, you know what I mean, of like part of nature, part of Mother Earth. And through my hands, I see like the gray stress, self-doubt, anything, like any blockage, you know, and fear, even ones that I'm not like consciously aware of, that I know it's going through into that water. And it's this beautiful conductive, I will take that from you and I'm giving it to Mother, and then I can walk the bowl outside and dump it into the earth, give it to Mother Earth, and you're not hurting her. It is, to me, with the way I feel in my meditations, I see that Mother Earth is this special energetic being, planet, that can transmute, transform, alchemize our energy. So what we see as my stress from the day, I don't want to give it to Mother Earth. Well, she'll take it. And forgive me for using gender pronouns, guys. This is kind of how I just say it. But do whatever's comfortable in your mind for the earth element, right? I give it to her and she'll take it. And she immediately can neutralize it and get the power. Just get the spiritual power from it. And use it for her volcanoes, for weather patterns, for, you know, water pressure, wherever it's needed in the earth. And I think there's just some spiritual healing because I connected with her. The moment we think of her in terms of an entity or I almost want to cry, a thing that we can have this reciprocal healing relationship with, we like goose her power spiritually to heal like a million times. It's kind of like those movies of like Santa Claus. Santa Claus is about to disappear because no one believes in him anymore. It's the same thing a little bit of, she's not going to disappear. But I think she gets strengthened every time a new soul connects with her in terms of like, I see you and I know that my existence is connected with you, and I want to heal you. I want to send you love. And can you send me energy? Can you take my excess energy? Can I help you? Like, that is fucking beautiful. And so I have then, like, so with water, I put my hands in it. If you're out in the ocean, I love this part. Like, I mean, when I go to Hawaii, which isn't very often, but when I can go to Hawaii and, you know, be in warm water, sorry, Pacific Northwest, we're just cold, unless you're in a wetsuit, which it can happen. I'll get out there this summer, but it's almost boogie boarding time. But like that sweet spot in the summer, in the sea, the sea or the ocean, where you're not being sent out to sea, but you're like in the waves where you're getting lobbed around maybe 8 feet in one direction toward shore, but then you're lobbed back another 8 feet, and you just kind of move a little, but you're not being sucked in one way or another. It's a beautiful place just to kind of like be in flow. You're connecting to nature, to Mother Nature, and your energy's there, and you can just be like, you don't even have to like do the whole like, let me connect to the core of the earth, and you're just connecting to the ocean. You're in the element. You're there. Mama Earth already knows your intention. You connect to that water's surrounding and touching every bit of your body, and it's just like, take that away from me. Take the shit away from me, please. The excess energy, the negative, the anger, whatever it is, the fear, take it away, Mother Earth, and alchemize it and make it beautiful. And then at the same time, give me some healing. Help balance my energy. Give me a little healing light. And however you visualize it as you're floating around, like once you got rid of it, the gray that leaves your body or something gets taken away to Mother Earth. And really, truly, if Mother Earth didn't want that energy, I kind of think that either angels or somewhere in the universe, it goes out. I think it's just a conduct to take it out of us, and then light beings can come down, or ancestors can come take it and be like, yep, we're sending this up to this area of the solar system. Who knows, right? So if that bothers you, sending energy that you feel is bad to the earth, don't worry. I think that there's a system set up. We're all good. And yeah, I would just even do that if you can. But I could try to do that in baths, you know. You can try to just try to float as much as possible. You know, think about your body and being part of the water to release into the water. And even though it's in the tub, you know, you can see it maybe visualize it on one end of the tub away from you, and then the rest of the water that's there, that the healing part of that element comes into your body to kind of heal what was just taken away, right? So that's kind of what I would do for visualizations in terms of energy, to either get an uptick in energy and release, you know, combo, or one or the other. And let me see, for fire, depends on, be careful. Okay, we're talking about fire here. Don't be dumb. I usually burn in metal bowls, ones that I don't use for cooking, and just have ceremonial metal bowl, and go outside, and depending on how much paper I wad up is how much time I have to connect with that energy. Sometimes fires goes fast, and fire is good. I mean, it can release, right? I can put I can sometimes just draw a picture of like a heart and be like, whatever is blocking my heart, you know, we don't have to have the whole thing written out. I mean, yeah, it's great to kind of like have time and really look at yourself and various issues in detail. But you don't have to every time. You can just be like, you know, I feel in loss over the death of, you know, my pet, my parent, my friend, and just put their name on it and just be like, and that's okay, guys. We're doing it to release energy, to heal. It's okay to put a name on a paper, to burn it for that, okay? That is still good vibe. Because you can also say, for that person or thing that I'm trying to release, I send them good, you know, please send them blessings, as I use the fire element to kind of release my energy and send them blessings. So fire can also, if I feel like I'm not taking care of my body, I might just write, you know, body on a piece of paper, wad it up, and then just be like, give me power and consistency and dedication, right? Give me discipline. And I'll watch that fire, and I'll be like, I'm trying to connect to that fire energetically, like maybe with a red line again too, from like maybe my heart chakra. Who knows which chakra I choose? Like, you can choose. You can Google chakras. I know I haven't talked about this yet on the podcast. We get connect. What part needs it? Is it like your sacral fire, sacral chakra, like, which is our reproductive kind of thing, to kind of like get more, you're not feeling very sexual, you know, like connect that to the fire to like power yourself up. Or is it your heart chakra? To me, body, health, movement, exercise. I kind of do my heart chakra. I could do it in my root and my sacral too. I could do more than one. There's no rules, guys. Whatever you feel led. This is your medicine. This is your ritual. It is yours. So you own it and you decide what works for you. But I'm just trying to open you up to think about it, right? And so what fire you can get power from as well as release. So, and then sometimes with the air, I just go outside and I just in the wind, or if I'm up in the forest and there's no one around who's going to get freaked out, I can like yell into the air, whatever I'm releasing, like a word, a phrase, a curse word, or just so attractive. But, you know, just, I can do it to release and just feel it, just the element going past my body. And I'm just like, it's going to you, Mother Earth. It's not mine anymore. And I just see the gray being whipped up and taken away by Mother Earth. And same thing with power. Have you seen those wind turbines? I mean, it's fucking powerful. So you can be out there and just be like, feel me with confidence in this issue. Like I gotta deal with this person at work, and I need to feel confident about, you know, setting my boundaries. You know, feel the wind, feel the power coming into your, like your solar chakra, solar plexus. I'm always getting that wrong. The yellow one, you know, that's like self-confidence, and connect with it. The wind can also release, right, with the yelling. You don't even have to yell. Just feel it. And with the fire too, I didn't put this in there, but sometimes I use it with the sun. I sometimes will connect with the sun, so you don't have to set fires. You can just be all the pyromaniacs of you are like, oh man. You just connect with the sun. An energy just like you would to the earth, but to the sun. And you know what that thing is doing. It's hot. It's this powerful beast. And you can feel the rays on your face. So you're connecting, right? And however you want to visualize that. Again, any chakra can work toward it. I mean, it doesn't have to be a chakra. Aligned to you. You don't have to believe in chakras for this to be medicine for you, okay? I'm just doing what I've kind of been, what I naturally gravitated toward in my belief system. So, and then I would be like with the sun, either give me confidence in this to be able to see a situation well, to make have my discernment like spiritually amped and like powerful, and make moves and like respond appropriately and have my boundaries or whatever it is, you know, whatever thing I'm trying to get powered up for. Or I'm releasing it. I'm angry and I just feel that heat and I'm like, just take it away. But you know, physically it's just water seems to do better with release for me. But it doesn't mean that the sun's light / fire can't do it. It just, I know what I go to. If this helps you, try it. And you like, oh man, sun connection totally helps me release shit. Like I feel it burned up and it's gone. It's been used. Then go for it. The whole point with energy management is that it's yours to own, to tweak, and there's no one to tell you that it didn't work. It's just, how do you feel after? And then change if it didn't, you don't feel like you got a lot from it. I mean, repeating things sometimes takes time. Sometimes it takes a few ceremonies. You know, we're not dealing with easy stuff sometimes, especially old wounds, you know, it takes a while, but just don't give up hope. It can happen. And it gets stronger the more often you do this. I'm telling you, you start feeling, for me, I can get goosebumps anywhere on my body, like just out of nowhere. That shit you can't make up. You know, just you're like, woo, I'm feeling something. I started feeling like tingles on in my head. Like when I start connecting, the moment I connect to the earth and I feel like this like tingling coming up into my head. Like I don't usually feel it like climbing up me, but I usually will feel it in my head. And oh man, that's something. Even if I'm making it up, I don't care. I'm like I always go to worst case scenario. Okay, what if all this is for nothing? Well, then I will just laugh at myself when I get up to heaven or whatever the next zone or non-existence or whatever, worst case scenario, you know? And I'll just laugh at myself and be like, oh, that's funny. I thought I had all that, you know, I was doing something with that little personal magic. The worst thing to me, which is why I'd rather have embarrassment than this, is that I get upstairs. I say upstairs, but you know what I mean. The next great adventure after our life is done. And I'm been shown you had all this power and you didn't know to claim it. And I'd feel like really horrible at the fact that I had power that I didn't use. All I had to do was get over a little ego burn and be a little silly and go out there and imagine connections and imagine stuff, and I could have had a much different life if I did. Like, that's the worst disappointment, to realize how much power you had and you didn't take advantage of it for good, right? So that's where I go to when I feel a little embarrassed about these spiritual practices. I'm like, well, I'd rather be chuckling at myself than having had the knowing that I could have had power and chose not to do it because my ego would have been sensitive to it. So anyways, I hope this little explanation of how I'm connecting to the actual elements helps you move through things. We, I said it before, like, since 2020, the world can just change very quickly. And we are living in a time period where there's a lot of scarcity. We see it with, trying to get a car and we got to wait 18 months, or, various things, right? Ordering things and it's taking forever. Products aren't there. Grocery stores don't feel like as full as they used to be. That hits us. And we have to learn how to deal with that energy and be okay, because I'm telling you, you don't want to live life in fear or in a negative state. Like, it's just going to keep coming at you. The quicker you can get to balance and peace and happiness, that's just like, you attract what you are. So if you feel that way, you're just attracting more in your life of good. And I want you to have good. And anyway, yeah, I hope this helps you guys. Take care, and thanks for listening.